Beauty and the Beast. A long time ago and far away, there lived a merchant and his 3 daughters. The older girls were proud, while the youngest girl were generous and kind. One day, the merchant heard that all his sheep had been lost in the storm. He was penniless and would have to move to a tiny cottage on the edge of the woods. "Everything will be all right," said the youngest daughter, Beauty. "We can all help. We don't need any servants as the house is so small." The merchant was very grateful to Beauty. The older girls were very upset and were no help at all. In no time at all, Beauty had a little cottage spick and span. One day, a messenger arrived. "I have good news," he said to the merchant. "One of your sheep has made harbor. You are needed to oversee matters in the unloading." "Oh, good news indeed," said the merchant. He called his daughters around him. They were delighted when they heard the news. "Does this mean that we can move back home?" asked the oldest daughter. "First thing first," said her father. "If there is a profit, I will bring you all back a present. You must tell me what you would like." "Oh, a beautiful dress, father," cried the first. "A new hat, father," said the second. "What about you, Beauty?" asked the merchant. Beauty simply said, "A red rose, please, father." The merchant set out that very day for the town with the messenger. He completed his business, and found that he had indeed made a profit. There was enough to buy his daughter's present and some to invest. The dress and hat were soon brought, but there were no roses to be had in the town. It was evening when he set out for home. "Maybe I will be able to find one on the way home," he said to himself.
It was still far from home when it started to grow dark. He was in an unfamiliar part of the forest, and knew that he would soon be lost if he did not find somewhere for the night. He suddenly saw some light and soon found himself outside a vast mansion. "I did not know that this was here," said the merchant. "I must really be lost." The merchant went into the house. As the front door was open, he looked around, but there was nobody to be seen. He suddenly sniffed the air. He could smell delicious food. A table in the dining room was laid for one, so he sat and ate a hearty supper. He suddenly remembered his horse, and went to stable it for the night, but it had already been done, and the horse had tugged into a bag of oats. "How strange," thought the merchant, returning to the house. There, a bedroom had been prepared for him. He slept well, and in the morning found all his clothes had been cleaned, breakfast was ready, and his horse was saddled. At the front door, he turned to thank his unseen host, but then he saw the garden. It was full of roses, roses of every different color. "Now I can get Beauty's present," said the merchant, and he picked a red rose. The merchant nearly jumped out of his skin when he heard a furious roar. "And I not been a good host," roared the voice. "I fed you, get your bed for the night and stable your horses, and you repaid me by stealing from me. The owner of the voice then came into sight. The merchant shuddered. It was the ugliest creature he had ever seen. I'm very sorry, said the merchant. I picked it for my daughter. If you wish to live, you must send the first living thing you see when you arrive home, said the beast. Very well, said the merchant. He knew that his dog usually greeted him first. He then set off for home. But to his dismay, it was Beauty who ran out of the house to greet him. The dog was lying asleep in the sun. The other girls came out to empty the saddlebags and to see their presents. He went quietly into the house. Beauty was worried and followed him in. What's wrong? She asked. I must send you to the beast's house, he said sadly, and then told Beauty what had happened. I will go, said Beauty. We must keep your promise. But you have not seen him, said her father. I will still go, said Beauty. He surely cannot be as ugly as you say.